Hey everybody, this is the Fiery Joker, and we just saw Monsters 2010, and it was boring.
I mean, I didn't hate it. There were exactly three, like 2-minute scenes in this hour, 33-minute movie, alright, that I could describe as tense.
Yeah, it's described on Wikipedia as a science fiction horror film.
It was not. Most of it was just talking, dialogue, establishing a character, building the plot, building the world. Not even really building the world, just more of just building these two characters. You know, the few deaths you get in the movie are people you don't know or establish, or, you know, it's like they're
just expendable Mexicans.
Yeah, they're the red shirts in the truck, you know, in the truck in front of them, and the red shirts in the truck behind him, and that was. It's like, oh, I guess they're dead. I guess they're dead. All right. Well, now these guys are next. No, nothing, and it was over in like 2 minutes, and it's like they didn't. It was very weird.
So basically what this movie is about, it's about this, NASA brings back these aliens who kind of take over most of Mexico.
Yeah.
They kind of infected most of Mexico, and they're kind of these, like, Cthulhu, Emrakul, hentai monster looking things.
They don't behave very hostile. It's more like these things, like, are reactive. Like, if you react to them with violence, they get agitated and start behaving violent back, very, like, exponentially. And because they're giant monsters, you know, a tiny little tank acting violent to this giant Cthulhu-sized monster, you know, yeah, it starts to lay waste to the other 30 tanks, and it's just like, I mean, what's disappointing is they don't even show stuff like that. They have the aftermath of all these great scene ideas, but they don't actually have any of the scenes playing.
Yeah, and for the first 50 minutes of this movie, well, like, in the first 2 minutes, they do show, like, a quick action scene, but it's all shaky cam.
It is all shaky cam, so you're like, okay, so this is just an establishing scene, you know,
but then, like,
to get us hooked.
Yeah, but for the first 50 minutes, it's just establishing why these two protagonists are in Mexico and why they're stuck in Mexico and
why they
travel to get back
why they're trying to get back to America. All right, from Mexico, and it's like
for 50 minutes, it's just character.
Movie's half over, and the only monsters we've seen was in the establishing shot in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it was.
All right, and then we get a tease. You know, we get a little tease.
That was one thing that would just really angered me about this movie. It's just all the friggin' teases.
Like, they make you think something creepy or scary is going to happen.
Oh no, it was just a cow.
Oh, it was just a cow. Oh wait, it was just the lady pushing a shopping cart.
That lady was just.
She barked at them like a dog. It was like.
I mean, I know some homeless people have mental illnesses, and I've been mooned by one of them, but.
What?
Yeah, I've been.
No, I don't want to know. Thank you.
It was Louisiana.
This was. This homeless lady just started barking at them. She's like, "Hello!" It's like, "Excuse me." It
was so.
And then
weird.
she just like goes back to pushing her cart.
Yeah, but anyways.
And it's like. The characters just kind of look at each other like.
Yeah, anyways, so they're going forward, and they're learning a little bit more about these creatures. It's like, we both said to each other, like, this is a movie that started 50 minutes too late.
Mm-hmm.
like once they actually get to there, it's like they could have started this like 40 to 50 minutes later, and no one would, and it would have been.
This movie is mislabeled. This is not a horror movie. This is more of a
suspense.
Not even suspense. I'd say it's more of a. I just call it a sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
I just call it a sci-fi film.
Yeah, it's just a sci-fi film, like similar in the vein to Lost in Space, probably.
Not even. It's like Lost in Space had some genuine like scary moments. Like remember?
Well, yeah, there were.
I mean, remember the alien spiders in Lost in Space?
Yeah, and there were like 1 or 2 suspenseful moments in this.
But they lasted exactly 2 minutes. It's an hour and 33 minutes.
Horror film on Wikipedia needs to get fired, because what? No, this is not a horror film.
Or they need to actually go see a horror movie and go, oh, so that's a horror movie. I'm sorry, my little girl started crying as soon as the monster showed up, and I just assumed this was scary.
Yeah. So, but there were a couple things in here. It's like, I'm not entirely sure that there are character resolutions all that much.
No. I mean, you don't really learn a whole lot about the characters besides like.
It's like the male. He's divorced, kind of like going through a bit of an Ant-Man situation.
Kind of. The actors were. I mean, okay. I'll give this movie one really good
The actors freaking tried.
No, it's not so much they tried. It's like you could tell these actors knew how to portray their characters. They knew how to act. They knew how to be in their character. That not at one point did I was like that was forced, or that wasn't played straight, or that it's like it genuinely looked like these characters where. I'll tell you what this actually reminded me of. This movie reminded me of watching. I remember seeing on the Discovery Channel this one episode of this hunter, this guy who's trying to rescue a lion out in the bush, try and get it out of the poaching area, and it's like an hour video explaining this guy's like system of trying to capture this lion. By the end of the hour, he fails to even. He spots it twice, but he fails to catch it, and it's like during like a couple moments, it's like tense. It's like this felt a lot like that because a lot of it was just talking about the situation they're in, not actually being in the situation.
Yeah, there were a lot of moments.
It felt like a history. It felt like a History Channel documentary on the.
Or a Discovery Channel documentary.
Discovery Channel documentary about this infected zone out, in Mexico.
I mean, yeah, and to this movie's credit, it didn't break the cardinal rule of the horror monster, the don't reveal it.
I mean, they never give you a very clear shot of these monsters. All the shots, the CGI was beautiful.
Especially during the end, it's like, that was actually really interesting.
As I said, it was like a Discovery Channel documentary. The stuff you saw was interesting. But it's a Discovery Channel documentary. Discovery Channel documentaries aren't scary. They're interesting, but it's like... This is not what I sat down for this hour and 33 minutes to watch.
It was called Monsters. It's like we expected...
I expect at least a metaphor about we're the monsters, not them. It didn't even take that route. It's just... No, we just label it monsters. There's creatures in this movie, and, that's it. They're in this movie. It's not about the monsters. There's just monsters in this movie. It was very underwhelming. Very slow. I mean, I could probably see myself enjoying this movie if I had known what I was sitting down to watch.
Yeah, we came in expecting a horror film, but...
Yeah, this This was not scary. This was just interesting. This is like sitting down to watch Alien and what was that recent sci-fi movie? It was like Visit or something like that. Or remember when the aliens show up? Is this weird dumb thing, and they actually look very similar to the monsters in this movie. And you have to try and the humans spend like the entire movie trying to figure out the language of the aliens so they can communicate. So it's like sitting down to watch Aliens, and it's
that movie.
It's just like, okay, that's an interesting movie. But if I had been expecting a horror movie going in, because that was a great setup for a horror movie. This was a great setup for a horror movie. But it wasn't.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was...
So, if we're going to...
We may need to watch it again with a new mindset.
So, I'm going to rate this thing... I know I haven't been rating a whole lot of these. Josh has been throwing around ratings. If I was to rate this as a horror movie, I'd give it a 1. Alright? As a movie itself... I'd probably give it a 6.
Yeah, above average?
I'd definitely give it above average, because this wasn't a terrible movie. I mean, as I said, the cinematography was great, the acting was great, the CGI was great, the story was interesting. It was just not the movie we sat down to watch.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 6 and 1. Just... Yeah, well, that's about it. Thank you for joining us, and maybe next time we'll actually get a real horror film. Take care.